We're at the pop-up studio at Digital Media Forum, and we're having our guest in our studio. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Joey Feghaly, and I'm an ad tech and growth senior manager at NBC Media Solutions, representing Shahid, Samsung TV OEM, and digital portfolio of NBC Group. Today I'm actually joining the Digital Media Forum for a debate on TV versus digital, and hopefully this podcast will highlight some of the mentions and points that we had earlier in the debate.
It's great to have you here, Joy. And can you tell me, so the theme of your debate was basically to explore and to understand who wins in the digital era, the digital experience or the TV. So what's your take on that? Who wins in that space? If there's a straight answer.
It's not a direct straight answer, but there are points and things that can help us with the narrative. Primarily that TV is a prominent device and a medium in every household. As simple as a rhetorical question. What is all your furniture pointed at in your household? It's your TV, right? Your couch is facing it, and it's always going to be a medium where people consume entertainment. It's the aspect of what are they consuming and how are they consuming it in terms of their behavior.
So has TV evolved to keep up with the digital experience, and in what way has it evolved?
Phenomenal. So I think there's a few things we would have to raise that the household penetration in Saudi and UAE is 99%. Everyone owns a TV mainly. When we look at UAE as a standpoint, the evolution is occurring on connected TVs, which is basically smart devices that are connected to Wi-Fi, they have data, and people are watching video on demand content on it, whether it's likes of platforms like YouTube or Shahid watching Arabic premium content. People are watching this long-form content on this television that is connected to data, and it's evolving because there's more than 110 content streaming platforms in MENA, and different platforms are offering different viewing experiences and libraries for that viewership.
TV has always taken a space and in the content production, let's say, industry as something as a very complete ecosystem, an ecosystem that has got quality, has got high standards, and obviously delivers an experience that's why it has been there for years. And now with the power that YouTube, for example, is gaining, and the creators economy is coming into picture. How do they add value to each other? Let's talk about that. And what do you see as the next step in this development?
Very valid question. So I think social media obviously hasn't gone, right? I like to always say this example that social media is a quick speed date and the TV is a long dinner.
Yeah.
I can find out, for example, about a podcast on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok. However, if I want to watch the full episode that's 2-3 hours long, I'm going to go to a medium that's a bit longer.
Yeah.
Right? In this case, I would revert to perhaps a device that's like TV that's bigger, it's larger. The screen real estate is much more captivating, right? And the second aspect I would say is you can't take one without another as a planner, as a marketer. The media mix is both. It's just the idea, where do you use one for mass reach and where do you use one for more, let's call it tactical, higher frequency, quick snippets? Because I could be scrolling on the go, in the elevator, in my office, right now before this podcast. I'm not gonna be holding a TV that's with me. But the difference is not the intent, it's the duration. An average social media duration, depending on the platform, is around 13 minutes. Mm-hmm. On televisions, we see the connected TV average is around 60 minutes. And this is considering two opportunities, right? I can turn on my TV, decide which platform am I gonna watch. Our partners at Samsung say the average is around 14 minutes before deciding where I wanna watch, which you can also advertise, right? It's also happening there. And then you have in-app experiences of platforms where that session as well is around 60 minutes, depending on the platform. So the view time is longer, the behavior is different, and there's this lean back environment experience that I want to sit, I want to watch. And more importantly, I'm not going to be sharing my small screen with 3-4 individuals. A TV I'm watching with my partner, with my sibling, with my family, with my friends. There's a co-viewing aspect. So even as an advertiser advertises on it, they're not reaching usually one individual. You can consider an average of 3 to 4 depending on the market.
How do you think creators are either disrupting or adding value to classical TV concepts?
Good question. So this is where we call the activations are changing. So if I take a platform like such as Shahid that you work on right now, You have experiences like the branded collection, where you can curate a list of content episodes or titles, part of it powered by a brand. So this way you're seamlessly within the native interface in a natural way. Another option as well is there's formats such as in content integrations where brands participate part of the pre or post production seamlessly. And more importantly, we have to think about it as all these advertisements offer experiences that can be tracked. You can measure viewability, you can measure ad fraud, you can measure brand safety, you can measure different attention metrics. And all of these results are showing a positive experience primarily on Shahid. The view-through rate and completion is above 90%. The brand safety is 100% because all the content is pre-vetted, reviewed, and uploaded. It's not whomever, whenever, wherever can upload. It's a very kind of, let's call it, closed content distribution network, right? So I think this is where the big difference is changing, and it's kind of evolving on what is, where you can watch and how you can watch it.
So, but is it only the big creators that, let's say, that are attractive for, let's say, for the big TV outlets, for the traditional media outlets, or is it a different metric that matters more than just the audience of the creator?
Great question. So we can see it on two fronts. Content, in this case, a creator, a production house, a film agency. Who is uploading that content? Like you said, are they reaching the correct audiences? And the answer is yes. We take big channels such as big formats like The Voice or Arab Idol. All those are addressed on television, on satellite, and also reflected on platforms such as Shahid. So in terms of content, it can be watched. It is there. And when we look at, let's call it the creator economy, there are creators and studios uploading that across platforms like Shahid, OSN, and other players, because end of the day, a platform cannot be without its viewers. It needs people to be watching and to be listening. And this, take it, we're in the Arab world in MENA. This Arabic audience is on these platforms and they can be reached on these mediums. So let's think about it not as a standalone, but it's an incremental channel that, yes, use your Spotify or Apple Music, use your YouTube, use your Meta, Snapchat, and X for creating snippets, highlights, and let's call it fishing. But at the end of the day, if they want to consume it all and if they want to watch it, it's going to have to come back to longer video on-demand platforms, it being either YouTube or platforms such as Shahid as well.
So, but the traditional TV, let's say, and the concept of how the shows and how content is created with the traditional TV is probably, it does involve not just teams and scales. It's the whole ecosystem that supports the quality and the high standard of it, right? Yeah. So, which relatively is reflecting in the cost of the production. So, I think creators' economy is disrupting that particular part, because sometimes content doesn't need to be sort of high standard from production perspective, but it can be quite to the point from the concept, let's say, or the hook perspective, or the attention span, etc. So, how do you think in this space traditional TV is going to either evolve, survive, stay alive, if the production costs are not comparable at some point of time? So what's your take on that? There's no right answer. It's just a reflection. That's what I would like you to share here.
I think it's we need to consider the platform, right? In this case, the added value and the beauty as well of social platforms, primarily on the digital landscape, is it's accessible, right? I can easily create an account and upload some content, upload a podcast, upload a recipe, talk about a specific opinion. But this is where I look at, what's the trustworthy? How is it safe? Who is the person speaking? Is it pre-vetted? Yes, of course, there is AI models and algorithms that remove censored content, make sure it's family friendly, there is no adult content. But it does require a conscious thought, and that's why a lot of the clients tend to always look at brand safety as their metric. And they use third-party verifications such as IAS, Double Verify, to measure that, because they want to make sure that their advertisement, whether it's a video or a picture, is not appearing next to news content or an article that might be under some negative context. What the added value I would see of VOD channels, platforms, and TV channels is it's pre-vetted, it's safe. Not anyone who ever is uploading that content. And the way it's disrupting it is changing, I would say, is it's giving it another kind of incremental reach, because they can still be present on those platforms, they can still publish their videos, and they can still attract those viewers on that website. Or you can cut that part off because I lost my track of train.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, it's totally fine.
We'll snip it, right? We'll snip some stuff.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
good.
It's not a broadcast, right? So it's So I have one last question
Yeah, please go ahead.
to look into. You know, the big creators, the top creators, the top YouTubers, let's say. So I mean, the creators economy overall looks very fragmented on the surface, but it's eventually on the back end. It sort of gets together beneath a few top platforms, and you know, most of the views and most of the attention actually is consolidated within top creators. And those top creators, let's say like Mr. Beast, for example, the biggest YouTuber, or let's say one of the biggest YouTuber in the business space, Diary of the CEO, Stephen Butler, right, who's building another empire, are taking most of the attention. Are they disrupting TV? Because they are becoming TV houses on their own. They don't need YouTube. They don't need traditional outlets. They are becoming empires on their own. So what's your take on that?
Very valid question. That's actually maybe the first time I hear that. When we look at the trends of what's happening, these platforms are actually adopting the same models, whether it's a game show or whether it's a trivia or whether it's a kind of poll-based viewership script. I would take Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime globally, eventually, as the example you said of Mr. Beast, they adopted his kind of YouTube channel direction and did it into a game show that's only exclusive on Amazon Prime, which is only a VOD on, in this case, connected TV and mobiles and desktops. You need access to join. So we're seeing these platforms and mediums adopt a similar model, but at the same time, not same model, but the same individuals. So they're now becoming TV hosts. They're becoming, their own channels or segments, and they're also having their content, as I said earlier, as an incremental reach and an incremental viewership. Let's call it house, where it's also living across these channels, because none of them is a standalone. You can't do one without the other. It's the idea of complementing each other, because if that specific individual or content creator also gets a mention, a recognition, or a shout out on a TV or a video on demand platform, it's all helping the ecosystem of feeding and gaining that viewership and awareness and driving eventually more viewers for them.
It's probably this is the model that we're moving towards. It's the question how the attention is going to be split, right? If Mr. Beast is already there, if Diary of the CEO is already there, right? How do other creators going to get into the picture? And is it about the audience eventually, or is it about something else? So that's why I keep on asking this question. Is it only about, it used to be about the following only, because that's how you get noticed. That's like a train, right? But I mean, it's not about the size of the audience eventually. It's about the format, the message, the type of the person who's creating it, and also probably then the standards he or she is doing it with. Probably, all these, right, pay a big attention. Play a big role. That's
I agree with you. I think the quality is a big one. It's not just the quantity. It's not the number of views, the numbers of shares, the number of impressions. It's about the relevant, looking at not just even on a media standpoint, not looking at the CPM, but looking at the eCPM, looking at the effectiveness, the attention quality, how much is it actually resonating with viewers, and at the same time running, whether it's panels or surveys to check purchase intent, ad recall, favorability. What is that shift you have once you were exposed to that advertisement or that content snippet or that integration? And the numbers are obviously very positive. And this is where the importance of how can we use this to leverage. Because as you said, I think the podcast, specifically content creator economy, is it's shifting massively. I take Samsung TV Plus. It's a fast channel platform that lives on OEMs of Samsung devices. Right now, they just did a deal in the US where they're adopting, and they took all of Spotify's long form podcasts and have created a channel on it. Ask this question, I would say not even 2 years ago, a year or even less. It would be like, in the near future, it might take time to ramp up. It's happening much quicker than we're anticipating. And this is helping the viewership, and this is helping as well let's call it the favorability aspect of viewers, that they trust this platform now more. They found another medium that they can consume it. And more importantly, like you said, the attention, that I can sit down, I'm captivated, I'm watching it, I'm leaned back, I'm in the comfort of my own home, and I'm enjoying this content.
Amazing. So what do you want the digital media audience to stay with after listening to this conversation? As 1, 2, 3 takeaways, please.
I would say it's not one without the other. That's something as well we mentioned in the debate, that they help each other. One can help you get massive reach, one can help you with incrementality and lower performance. But it's the idea, as I would say, a tip or an advice for a key takeaway is plan using, is it an awareness or is it a tactical based on the season? The second one is know the format and the medium you take, as different placements can get you different objectives based on your attention, based on your campaign performance. And thirdly, I would say watch the landscape because it's evolving. It's changing. If we did this podcast 2 quarters ago, we would be talking about much different things. It's evolving in a much faster way. It's not a digital transformation. It's an own section on its own. And MENA, fortunately, is one of the leading ones globally doing it. We tend to see trends happen from the West, whether it's from Europe or the US, and then MENA follows. We're starting to see it actually flip in our domain, that we're actually the ones leading these studies, launching these new formats, and creating standardization. So that's something I'm very proud of and something to keep in mind for us to keep looking forward towards.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's been lovely having you at our pop-up studio, and I hope we're gonna catch up with this conversation as fast as the industry is going.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me. Appreciate it.